How to remove late payments from your credit report. I'm going to show you the exact trick I use to remove late payments from my credit report, going step by step as if I was doing it for myself. You know, I personally didn't have perfect payment history until I used some of the tricks I'll be sharing here, and now I do. So I know they work, and I want you to be able to do them for yourself, on your own, without having to pay for it. I've also written out all the letters and included all the links you'll need to get this done in the description. I'll do my best to make this the most complete guide on how to remove your late payments. As you guys know, I do all the research, provide all the documents, and put these videos together for free. So smash that like button to help this video reach other people who need it. Tapping that like button is free, just like this video. Now, to get right into it, there are a few secrets to removing late payments from your credit report that most people don't know, and they're simple to do. Just by performing a couple of these secret methods I'll be sharing, you'll increase your chance of removing a late payment dramatically. Now, you've probably noticed the credit bureaus seem to have a huge amount of information about you already on file. These include your name, past names, phone number, past phone numbers, addresses, past addresses, and even your employers. Well, they use this information to try and tie your credit information to your personal identity. And you know, this information can change pretty often with people. So you may have a dozen addresses or phone numbers on file. Now, I'm going to drop one of the secrets I was talking about earlier. The credit bureaus are obligated to tie the late payment to your identity with verifiable information in order to keep it on your report. I'll say that again. They have the burden of proof to keep the late payment on your credit report. And if anything is inaccurate about that late payment or doesn't match with your personal information on file, they have to remove the late payment from your credit report. So for this reason, you want the credit bureaus to have as little of your personal information as possible on file. And this is where it gets interesting. You can freeze up your old information at the third-party companies that the credit bureaus use to gather your credit history. Now, I want to make that last part very clear. I didn't say to freeze your credit history with the bureaus. I said to freeze your personal information with the companies the credit bureaus use to verify information on your credit report. Believe it or not, the credit bureaus are not the ones keeping the majority of your personal credit history. It's these third-party companies that work with the credit bureaus that we want to target first. So now that you understand this, you're going to want to follow along and do the things I mentioned in the order that I mentioned them, because it's a critical part for getting these tricks to work. Okay, so the big question is, what are these companies the credit bureaus use to verify your personal information? Well, the bureau's main one they use is called eOscar, but eOscar gets a good amount of their information from a few other companies, and these are the places where you're going to freeze your personal information. These are LexisNexis, SageStream, Innovis, and ARS. These four companies are the ones you want to stop giving out your personal information that the credit bureaus use to verify your late payments. And I've included links in the description to each of their websites where you can request to have your information frozen. Go to each of these links and fill out the forms. Now, you'll likely need to give them a reason why you want to have your information frozen. So just tell them that you're concerned about identity theft. Each of their online forms should just take a few minutes, and it will be extremely helpful in removing your late payment history. Now, it usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks for your forms to get processed by LexisNexis and the others, so you'll need to wait for the next couple steps. Once this is done, eOscar won't be able to access your personal data with these third-party companies. So you've literally just broken a big link in the chain of information that the credit bureaus need. Okay, so now that your information is frozen with the third-party companies, on to the next step. You now want the credit bureaus to have as little personal information of you on file in their own system. If you can reduce this information to one name, one phone number, one address, and one employer, you have a much better chance of getting those late payments removed. So to do this, you'll need to send a letter to the credit bureaus requesting to have the old information removed. I've written a sample letter for you and linked it in the description below. In the letter, you'll be using a request to have your old personal information removed for the reason that it makes you susceptible to identity theft. Now, the credit bureaus will usually require that you send some type of verifying information of the change of address. They will sometimes require you to provide proof of your new address, providing a copy of your driver's license and a couple of utility bills. If you're on a tight schedule, you can include these with your first letter, but I usually try and have them remove the old information without giving them any additional proof of identity that they could use on you in the future. And remember, you need to send this letter by certified mail. When you send it, make sure to keep the receipt and tracking information. The credit bureaus only have around 30 days to send you a response to your letter. If they don't reply within the required time frame, they may open themselves up for a lawsuit. Now, none of what I'm sharing today is legal advice, and it's all just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, so just understand that I'm just sharing what I would do if I had late payments. So as I was saying, make sure to keep the receipt to the certified letter you send the credit bureaus so you can keep them accountable. Okay, so now that you've frozen your personal information with the third-party data companies and you've removed your old information from the credit bureaus, you can now start on disputing your late payments. To do this, you'll need copies of your 3 credit reports with the credit bureaus. I've included another link in the description to a good site where you can go and download all 3 of those free credit reports. The site is called annualcreditreport.com. When you go there, just remember to download each of your credit reports as they show them to you, because they don't keep them on file. Once you exit out of that site, you won't be able to get back into it, so you'll need to download a copy to your computer of each credit report. Besides the fact that you get all 3 of your credit reports for free there, you also avoid some nasty terms of service the credit bureaus have snuck into their websites when you build an account. Believe it or not, which you probably will, the credit bureaus have snuck language into their terms of service, so when you build an account on their website and opt into the free identity theft protection they offer, you forfeit your right to sue them. It's absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. They decided to start including this after the big data breach where 143 million consumers had their personal information stolen. So with something like that, I personally don't trust the credit bureaus and avoid using their online platform when possible. Now again, all of this is really my personal opinion and you should really verify all of this information for yourself. Okay, there's still more that we need to do. So once you have your credit reports downloaded, make a note of which late payments you want to dispute. Then place them in the sample letter I provide you in this video's description and mail it to the credit bureaus by certified mail. I'll say that again. Send it by certified mail. You'll be disputing the late payments by saying the account doesn't belong to you and it doesn't match up with your personal information. If the account is associated with an old name, phone number, or address that you had removed, and you froze your history with those third-party companies I mentioned earlier, then the trick should work and the bureaus will likely remove these late payments for you. Now, this really is one of the best methods to use if you still haven't paid on these accounts. So if you didn't make your payments and the creditors wrote off your account and sent it to collections, then this is really one of your best options. If you generally have good payment history, but you have a few late payments for a couple of years ago, then I have a video where you can dispute those in just a few minutes online and have them removed within a couple days. I'll link to that video for you guys as well. Your payment history makes up 35% of your credit score, so it's super important to be on top of this. Even just a few missed payments can dramatically affect your credit score. And since your credit score can dramatically affect interest rates on a loan, doing these simple steps could literally save you tens of thousands of dollars. There's no reason that you should be paying more interest to the banks than your neighbor on a loan. Okay, so to quickly go over what we just discussed so you can make a little more sense of it, first, freeze your personal information at the third-party data collection companies. Wait a couple weeks for that to take effect. Then send letters to the credit bureaus to remove old personal information from your credit report. Make sure to send it through certified mail. Download your credit reports from the annualcreditreport.com website and take notes of what late payments you want to dispute. Put the late payments you want removed in the sample dispute letter I made for you and send it to the credit bureaus using certified mail. I'd really recommend first trying to do this on your own. It's okay to experiment a bit. I think some people get paralyzed by simple things. They worry that they're checking the wrong box or dotting the wrong I. I want you to feel comfortable that I've explained enough for you to try it out and get through the process. There's no self-destruct button to your personal finances if you don't get this done exactly right your first time through. I'd also say don't let your credit score control your financial future. There are loans, financing, and credit cards for almost anyone. I feel like too many people view their credit score as a reflection of their self-worth, and that's just not true at all. If you're interested in removing hard inquiries from your credit report, I also made a video on that subject. I'll include a link to it as well. I try really hard to answer all the questions I can in the comment section. I literally read them and I answer them myself, so feel free to ask whatever you like. If you liked this free video, go ahead and smash that like button. Also, if you haven't yet, become an OG and subscribe. We want you as part of the family. And you guys have a great day.